Today we're going to be learning about a project called Monster Portraits, and it normally takes my middle schoolers about 4 or 5 one-hour classes to complete it. The main skill you're going to be learning about, aside from just laying out a good portrait and how to put together a nice composition, which we're always working on, the main one specific to this project is creating texture. You're going to be making a portrait of a monster of your choice, so you have to decide, are they slimy? Are they cracking apart? Are they cut all up? Like, what is going on? What would they feel like? And you have to try and draw a little bit of that texture. Like, do they have scaly skin? Are they covered in ooze? Is there blood dripping from their fang? Are they crying because none of the other monsters like them? Okay, for our exemplar, I thought we would go anime, and one of the monsters that I wouldn't say I like it, but I would say once I first saw it, it has never left my mind, and that is Attack on Titan, whatever those things are called. Somebody in class is yelling at me right now, calling me a boomer for not knowing. Very unskibbity of you, kid. The steps for this project are pretty simple. I'm going to run down how we do it day by day. Day 1, we start off looking for inspiration. We're going to talk about monsters. We're going to have a little discussion in class. Once we've taken in some other people's ideas, we're going to mix that with our imagination, and we're going to come up with a little sketch for what our monster is going to be. The second thing that I want you to do, which is going to be on that same day, you're still going to be sketching, I want you to think of what you can put in the background. When they used to paint portraits of people, the things that would be in the background and around them would show things like, where do they live? What do they do? What kind of status do they have in the world? You can tell us about your monster with whatever you put around them, even though the monster from the shoulders up is going to be taking up most of your piece of paper. The next day we're going to come back. Some people will already be done with their sketches. Other people will need to finish them up. It's fine either way. Once you finish drawing the lines of your sketch, I'm going to ask you to practice those textures on it. So we'll probably be practicing textures until the end of the second day, because it's really important that we figure out how to get that right, and we know exactly how we want to have our stuff sketched, and then we'll go on to the final paper. Once you get final paper, you're going to have 3 days to complete a fully colored portrait of a monster that shows me at least one texture on them or around them somewhere, and they have a background that tells the viewer something about the monster. So day 1, sketching, day 2, finishing sketching and practicing textures, and 3, 4, and 5, we're doing the final artwork. We're putting that shoulders up monster.
Assuming they have shoulders, I guess. Did I just assume their body parts?
When you're finished with your project, it'll be a shoulders up portrait of a monster that you created from your mind, maybe with some influences, that has at least one texture on it and has a background that tells the viewer something about your monster. You also want to make sure that it's fully colored. And if you want to level up your artwork to the hashtag ArtSquad level, then I would say try and hide something in your artwork that adds to the story. Maybe something that somebody might miss, and then once you point it out, they're like, oh, people really love, Easter eggs in film, and people don't think about that as art. It's totally art. Filmmaking is totally art also, but I want them to find that Easter egg in your drawing. You decided on this project that you weren't going to give any effort, and therefore you finished early. I just want to remind you that your reward is the ability to sit quietly at your seat until everyone else is finished. You're allowed to read a book that you brought from home, or you can do some free drawing, but you're not going to get up and hang out with your friends.
Because we do not reward the people that disrespect what we are trying to do here.